Hey guys, subscribe for daily content, and if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another short little unboxing video to share with you guys. Some new releases from Civivi, and SenCut. We're going to do all of them in one video today just because they all came in the same box. It's convenient. Really like that you guys put the release date right on the packages when you send this to me. This makes it so much easier for me to create content. Probably not likely a lot of other OEMs and companies are watching right now, but if you are, put the dates, put the release dates on the thing. It's so helpful. Thank you so much to Civivi/SenCut for sending these in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. I'll link everything in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Probably going to do the SenCut, then the Civivi, and then the because the is going to be the most premium. Make sure your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel so you don't miss my uploads. Okay. And my weekend live stream giveaways. I won't miss those. Those are good. Those are fun. You can win awesome knives. Do it every single week. First knife. This is called the Skelfin. Maybe that's a real thing. Every time I make fun of knife names for being made up words, they turn out to be words that people are familiar with and that I've just never heard before. So I don't know. Tell me in the comment section what a Skelfin is. And if you don't know, make something up because it'll be fun. Satin finished 9CR 18 MOV. So this is going to be very, very, very basic, straightforward, but this is fine if you're new to pocket knives and you're like, I don't know about all this expensive stuff. I'm just kind of looking for something basic and simple. SenCut is definitely that company, or one of those companies that you want to start with, because they do basic, simple utility for a low cost, and they're also very, very well made for the money. So, okay, little skinny little guy. Not too crazy, though. It's ridiculously thin edge there. This is hollow ground. Yeah. Whoo, boy, that is a little laser beam. My goodness. Simple plunge lock, which is fine, considering this knife is probably 40 bucks. We can actually find out because they sent the piece of paper. Yeah, on the money. MSRP, you can completely ignore that because absolutely nobody's going to pay MSRP unless you're, don't do that. The street price, what you're going to see on websites like Blade HQ, which is where I'm going to link this, will be 40 bucks. That's great. Good. I think they can get a little lower, but I'm happy with 40. Let's put that one right there. This next one appears to be some sort of fixed blade, which is, what is this? The Morn? Oh, the MDRN Hunter, designed by Kyle Lamb. That's a name that I have heard before. MDRN Hunter, black G10 handle, stonewash Nitro V blade. Okay. Is Nitro V, I mean, it probably is. I think Nitro V is just, like, highly versatile. Nitro V for blades, to those of you who are big into fixed blades and use them all the time. I have a Nitro V kitchen knife. Washed it, and the dishwasher should not have done that. But I'd like to know how you fixed blade folks like Nitro V. Okay. So, interesting design. Is this, oh, is it... Is this a scan? You don't call this a Scandi grind, do you? I mean, what do we call this? It's just like an enormous flat, and then there's a little, it looks like it is, and then you have a little bevel, then you have the cutting bevel. So, okay. I do not EDC fixed blades typically, and I certainly do not spend enough time outdoors using fixed blades to be able to confidently tell you if this is good or bad for whatever it was designed for. But it is kind of interesting, and I don't understand the purpose of this. Probably ergonomic lock-in, right? Looks like it's got, that's the specific position for the lanyard, so maybe it's meant to specifically work in tandem with a lanyard, which, if I gotta say, I don't care if you like lanyards on your pocket knives for whatever reason, you don't need my permission, right? From like the way that I see it, a lanyard is far more useful on a fixed blade because of what they're typically used for, right? Whether it's grip, like removing the knife from the sheath or your pocket or whatever, or it comes to grip during use, or sometimes, like a long loop lanyard, it's legitimately designed to hold on to your wrist while you're chopping or cutting or whatever, so that you don't slip or throw the knife or, whatever. So I don't know. But okay, this exists. And then finally, let's take a look at the Wii. Typically the most interesting, sometimes Civivi releases, some cool stuff. Like, the Snex Buster, etc. This knife is called the Krait snake. I bet that's a real snake. I don't know, though. Gray titanium handle, hand-rubbed satin bowler M390. Now, the issue here with Wii lately has been that their prices seem to have gone through the roof while they continue to create essentially the same level of quality as their less expensive competitors. Wii's quality is very, very good. They make extremely nice knives, but they are they're just not, price-wise, they're just not, at least with some of the last few that I've handled, they're just not competing in the appropriate territories. Krait snake. Okay. Okay, that's weird. Fun. I can't say I've ever seen a backspacer like this. So we have seam construction, not an integral, but then we have a backspacer. I'm not even sure how this is attached. It's cool, though. It's not going to be to everybody's aesthetic taste, but it is certainly cool and different. It's not a frame lock. It's a liner lock. Also interesting. So this is not Timascus. It's a plasma. I call it plasma. It's a lightning anno, right? So you have that kind of a similar aesthetic to Timascus, but it is not two separate compositions of titanium that are pattern welded together into a Damascus. It is simply a surface anodizing pattern. I'm not sure what the process is for that, but it is cool. Okay, nice pivot collar there. Wish they had done it on both sides. Wish we'd gotten a little one here, but that's okay. So really nice action. Kind of a swooping, like a bird's beak kind of blade, but it is nice. I like the hand rub satin finish here. Do we have? No, I believe that is simply a steel liner lock, which is fine functionally. I just wish, especially, I know whatever I'm about to see for the price tag, I know it's probably going to be too much. And it's like, that's one of those little details that I wish that they would add in there. That is, in fact, a steel lock bar. Again, functionally fine, but, at the price that I'm about to see, almost certainly, probably should be doing titanium with lock bar inserts, right? So that we can justify or help justify that price tag. The action is really, really nice, though. Little bit, I'm not going to call it sharp, just a little bit of a hard, abrupt angle there disengaging, but not bad. Feels good. It's definitely a unique looking knife. I really like this area back here. I think that's cool. The pocket clip is really stiff and really sharp too. Okay, so let's look. We didn't look at the price tag for the fixed blade, did we? We should probably do that. So for the fixed blade, I'm actually expecting the fixed blade to be too much as well. Yeah. MSRP is $115. You guys want $97. This is G10 and Nitro V. I don't know why you guys want that much money for it. That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. And then your Krait snake here, which is almost exactly 8 inches, is, yeah, that's a lot. MSRP 405, you can ignore that. $344.25. Titanium, you have Lightning Anno and you have M390. Your competitors are doing quite literally this. I mean, like, there's so many companies that are able to create essentially the same thing at about $250. Now, to be fair, almost certainly we have a designer involved with this. Do we? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, Tashi Barucha. Should have known. Look at the aesthetic, of course. Tashi's got to make a cut. Definitely, because as far as I know, he didn't do this just for the charity of the knife world, right? I mean, he's still running a business. So they have to factor that in, and we definitely likes to make sure that they get their cut as well. So instead of just reducing reducing the price a bit and being reasonable. They said, no, we're going to get our maximum cut, and we're also going to give Tashi a big cut. He deserves, to make that too. But the problem is that while a lot of the other competitors are doing their in-house designs where they don't have to necessarily pay a big chunk of it to a designer, and they're hitting this at about $250 or so, right? Lots and lots of examples out there. Even when there is a designer involved, they typically don't go over $300, typically, unless there's some really major machining or complexity elements there that would add cost when manufacturing this stuff. So I think $344 seems pretty ridiculous. I'm not going to be soft there. I don't think that really makes any sense. I think that if they had hit this between $275 and $300, it would have been much more understandable, much closer, I think, to $275. But $344, my goodness. Yeah, and listen, at $344, I'll tell you what, that would have needed to be Timascus. This would have needed to be Timascus. And the lock bar insert probably needed to be titanium with a steel lock bar insert. I'm sorry, I said lock bar insert. The lock bar itself would need to be titanium with a lock bar insert. And then probably something else would need to be going on here. That is, where I think need to be. It's a cool design. It's just right off the bat. Again, this is just a first impressions video. I'll review it down the road. Right off the bat here, it just seems real pricey. The only knife really out of this group that made any sense to me in terms of price was this guy. All of these knives are extremely high quality and made very well, functional, etc., in varying degrees. But these two just seem just like it's the price tag. It's just like, where are we coming up with this? So, gonna keep pointing it out. It's the same thing I do with Benchmade, right? Everybody knows that I get free stuff. And everybody knows that there are affiliate links down in the description. And when people buy this stuff, I make a commission. So many people coming here usually for the first time would assume that would incentivize me to be extremely nice all the time and pretend that everything is just fine so that everybody will go and buy it. I don't do that. I treat everybody the same way, right? It's fine. If you want to buy it, great. Use my link. I'll get a commission. But I'm going to be honest with you. A free knife is, again, not enough to just make me blindly say it's great. These two seem like wildly overpriced to me. If you're shopping at that territory, I would say pump the brakes and look around. But I will review this. Probably not going to review the fixed blade. This guy is ridiculously simple. I don't know that one requires a review, but I will review this knife and to give you guys my final thoughts if you don't wait for that video. But that's going to be it today. Links are down there if you want to check them out. I'll link each knife individually. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.